Bismarck presentaba la película de Fountain, que era una gran aspiración desde el festival, una de las películas que teníamos muchísima ganas de tener en Sitges 2006, y además la primera experiencia de Sitges fue presentar una película de Darren Aronofsky, que en los otros dos casos, diferentes situaciones, ni Pi ni Wrecking for a Dream pudo ser. Hoy sí tenemos de Fountain y tenemos a Darren Aronofsky, y gracias a Fox por la confianza que ha tenido el festival por este evento, y sobre todo también gracias a Darren por estar con nosotros. Darren Aronofsky, welcome to Sitges. Comencé en la rueda de prensa usando la palabra desde aquel momento. Gracias.
Well, hi, I have two questions for you. The first one, correct me if I'm wrong, but when your first attempt to do the movie, when Kate and Kate Blanchett were attached to the project, well, that didn't work out, you went back into rewriting the script. What are the major differences between those two fountains? It's only a rewriting, a reduction in terms of production, or you change any concept of the movie? And the second question is that you adapted that first version of the script into a comic book published by Vertigo Days. And are you still interested in that way for telling your stories, or in other way of comic book adaptation, but you were also for a time to the Watchmen adaptation or Long Wolf and Cup?
Do you need to translate into Spanish for everybody? They don't, okay. Show the translation. Okay, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here in Spain, back in Spain. Barcelona is my favorite city in the world. And I've always dreamt that I'm going to retire south of Barcelona, so I've never been south of Barcelona before, so I like Sitges, but we'll keep going more south and see what else is down the coast. Yeah, the first time I tried to make La Fuente de la Vida, La Fuente, it was back when we started really, some of the ideas started in 1999, and then 2000 we really started going, and then about 2002 in the fall we were about to start shooting, and then the film fell apart as it's been publicized a bunch, and if anyone doesn't know the story, just do a Google search, you'll get the whole story. But then I spent about 7 months trying to do something else, and one night I couldn't sleep, and I was sitting in my office, and all the books that I had read do research for the film was right in front of me on the shelf, and I couldn't get out of my head. And so I just I realized that the story was just in my blood, and even though there was $18 million against the movie, and incredible amount of hurdles to get done to get the film made, I just felt I had to do it. And so I realized that I started off as a no-budget filmmaker. You know, Pi was made for $60,000 US, and Requiem for a Dream was a very independent movie. And that now that I didn't have to write for the studio or for the actors, I could basically, keep honing the blade, kind of like a samurai warrior. There was a blade that I was very happy with, but I could just make it sharper and meaner and leaner. And having gone through the whole process of getting very close to shooting the movie, I understood what was expensive and what wasn't expensive. So I kind of reconceived the film to do it in a more economical way. But it was important to me to definitely preserve the story, because otherwise it wouldn't be worth making. So I spent about 2.5 weeks and after just rewriting, and then I showed the script to my producer, and he said, "We've turned it from a normal movie into a poem." He called it a love poem to death. ¿Cómo se dice love poem to death? Un amor. ¿Cómo se dice poem? Anyway, love poem to death. I don't know. Can you figure out a good way to translate that? So, so I went back to the studio. The studio agreed to do it. During that, just the other part of the question, in that section of in that 7 months, I didn't think it would be possible to remake the film. I had basically given up hope, but when I first started the movie, I was convinced that at some point they would shut it down. So I negotiated the right that no matter what, we could turn it into a graphic novel. And so when that did happen, I went to a comic book place and I got them to help me find an artist named Ken Williams, and together we created it. And so the graphic novel, which I think hopefully will find a Spanish distributor, it's out in French, if you speak French, it's in English. We basically spent about 2 years working on it, and it's very, very different. The story is very similar, but the artist definitely gave his interpretation of the material. I'll see you in 20 minutes. Rápido, rápido.
Repito la primera pregunta. Cuando hicieron el primer intento de tener los actores Brad Pitt y Kate Blanchett, eso fracasó. Entonces se reescribió el guión. La pregunta era ver si había habido muchos cambios. Él comentaba que se comenzó toda la idea en 1999, hubo unos años en los que se estuvo desarrollando la idea, desde que se supieron que no iba a retomar la película o que no iban a grabarla con estos actores, estuvo 7 meses pensando en cosas nuevas que podía aplicar, ¿no? De alguna forma al principio desistió de la idea, pero luego observó que la historia estaba en su sangre y que quería hacerla. Se encontró con dificultades económicas y con otro tipo de dificultades, pero le interesaba hacerlo. En las películas de Pitt de Requiem tuvo unos presupuestos diferentes. Los cambios básicamente fueron en función de las posibilidades económicas. Hizo una reconstrucción del guión para que fuera más barato. Lo importante y lo que querían mantener era la historia básica de la película. Se pasó 2 semanas y media reescribiendo el guión, y al pasárselo a los productores para que le echaran un vistazo, ellos consideraron que había pasado de ser una película normal a ser un poema de amor a la muerte. Con respecto a la segunda pregunta que le preguntaban acerca de la adaptación al cómic de esa primera versión del guión, y le preguntaban a ver si todavía está interesado en esas adaptaciones, como pensaban que no tendrían la posibilidad de retomar la película por el fallo de estos actores y el fracaso en aquel momento, se decidió hacer una novela gráfica que él espera que se pueda distribuir en España. Ya está en Francia y también está en inglés, y considera que es muy diferente de lo que es la película.